So our next presenter is Gord Lewis. Bio-counting salmon in the Coquitlam River since 1996. Single parent of 2 boys since 2001. Living off the grid since 1999, etc. Please welcome Gord Lewis.
Hi, there's a light in my eyes. Did you know that there are 2 cities in the lower mainland named after a river, named after indigenous people, named after an extinct fish? And that's it. That fish lives here. This is Coquitlam Lake. This provides this city with drinking water and electricity. And I've been there, and it's forbidden. They're afraid things might fall in the water, like fish. This fish is also extinct. This fish arrived in 2007. That's me, by the way. I'm using a used pair of dry suit, or used dry suit, and that fish I found in an excavation below the dam. And it's actually the first sockeye to return to the Coquitlam River in 100 years, more or less. And this is how I started. I'm a minimalist, right? So I try and do things simply. I make weirs, fish capturing devices out of whatever is at hand. But I'm also a contractor, so I have an interface with our corporate entities. That wasn't meant to be funny. Anyway, we go from here. So once the corporate entities want scientific data, they put out requests for proposals. They didn't. They actually solicited me to do this kind of work because I was doing it already anyway for DFO and UBC. And anyway, we got all this great equipment, and this goes in. Did I tell you about, the city named after the fish? That's the Coquitlam River. That's where we are. This is our equipment, and what we're doing there is we're gauging the mysteries of what flows beneath the water. And from the surface, you would never know what's going on below. But you'll find out. If you come down to the river this spring, we're going to be doing it again. We've been doing it for a long time. We discourage you from getting on the traps or falling in the traps. That drum is 8 feet in diameter, and it turns by the current, and you cannot stop it. So if you're a beaver and you get in there, you'll fit through the bottom and into where the fish are. But if you're a human, that's a coal. You see how quietly it lies? It's not because we drugged it. We don't do that anymore. We put it in a net, so it was jostled by its fellows. And our hands are cold because we work in the water. And it lies there quietly. That's a steelhead, a juvenile, by the way. We measure them, we mark them, we release them. We try not to damage them. We talk nicely to them. And we ask for forgiveness. And that's a big one. That one is a couple years older than the last one. It's a great investment, eh? Little fish comes out of the river, goes to the ocean, comes back, big fish. And that guy, he loves that fish. And that fish, it was just in the box. It was just there. Come in there one day, holy smokes. And that's an eel. That's a lamprey. We've never seen a lamprey on a salmon. But those fish are gorgeous. They're like the most beautiful creatures. But anyway, when they are full of eggs, they don't like to wiggle very much. And their texture is so soft, it's unbelievable. And oh, by the way, I didn't take any of these pictures. I'm against images. So these pictures have been contributed, except for the last slide. That's from my phone, and you'll notice. And sometimes the river has a tendency to exert herself. And we go to a lot of work to put these traps in the river to capture the fish. And the river sometimes flares up and takes our capture away, which is what happened on this day. And I thank Amir for the picture. And then the other days, the river is like the nicest place. It's like, who could work in the river? I mean, what kind of lucky person could warrant this? And it is a gorgeous experience, but it's also something spiritual. It's something that reaches deep down, you know. It touches us, you know. Everyone that works on the river, it's like, wow, this is part of our being. And we don't mind these crazy days. They're, you know, it's a challenge. Like, we got engineers out there to tell us that, yeah, if you know the current is below 3 meters per second, and if you have the cables anchored and problems, yeah. But the next day the river's just beautiful again. And that little bird is a dipper, and the dipper makes the most beautiful noises. It sings like this wide, you know, arrangement, like it was practicing a whole pile of bird songs. I stop whenever they're singing because it's like, whoa. And this kind of trap is really hard to move. And there's actually no fish left in it except for the poor ones that are stuck in the sides. But, you know, we do our best. We really do our best to move those fish through the system, to do the enumeration. And I've been doing it for a long time, as you can tell, and it hasn't done me poorly. I can say that for the first many years I avoided the institutions and the corporations, the cities and all that. But in the last little bit, I've learned that they're my allies. These are my pictures, right? This is from my phone. There's the sunrise above the river. I've got a chair. I stuck it on the top of a dead alder tree. It's 20 feet above the river. I can sit there and watch the sunrise and drink my coffee. In the bottom one there's a tree frog. It's in a patch of what used to be Japanese bamboo that for 7 years I've been pulling and sometimes eating and encouraging the salmonberry to grow. And I was delighted this last year to see a frog there. And then there's the hummingbird that got stuck in my roof that allowed me to catch it and then flew off. And then there's the mess. That's my place. And it's all about loving the situation you're in, and I really do appreciate the opportunity and the honor that I've had to work with the river. Because the river is essentially what gives the city its place. And it's it's the gravity of the watershed, really. And as I was saying earlier about coming to terms with dealing with the corporations and institutions, I've found that there are allies for those of us that are interested in preserving something for the future generations. We have, friends in the bureaucracies and in the institutions that can assist us if we reach out to them. And I found them in the Coquitlam River Watershed Roundtable. And I'm hoping that by this presentation, I can bring this group to this group here and say, get involved. This is our space. Occupy it.